What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Clash of Clubs, episode 83. I'm Dylan alongside Mila and Grant. As always, we have the most jam-packed episodes of all time. I think every single episode I say it's a jam-packed episode, and this is no different. Chelsea, comeback winners 3-2. United pull off a 3-2 victory, both at home. And then we'll talk about Manchester City and how they were robbed against Spurs in a 2-2 draw. Both deserved and undeserved, but it's should be a good one. A lot to get to, so let's kick on into it. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Clash of Clubs. I'm Dylan. They just got punched in the mouth. They didn't even know how to react.
That is one Derby Diamond.
I'm Mila. Do we want to do a little predicky? That was the last time they showed initiative to go get a fucking player.
City are still alive here. Balotelli, Aguero.
I'm Grant. They're talking a lot about you 15. How will you respond 15?
We downgraded from Peppa. Do you know how absurd that is?
Ladies and gentlemen, it's match day.
Alrighty, let's get into the predicky counter. I didn't update the games in the top right. That should reflect 60. Did we do an Arsenal preview?
Mm-hmm.
Did any of us take Arsenal to win?
Probably. But
I can't remember.
I think so.
And that might not be reflected correctly, but there's 62 matches. Grant got 2 of the 3 correct results between our games, so took a leap in that regard. No predickies, no super predickies. Box standard week, but Grant is catching up to Mila here, slowly and slowly. It'll be interesting to see if the predicky comes when you catch up to Mila. That's my super predicky, is I think that you're going to catch Mila with a super predicky. That'll do it. But let's plug the podcast. We're at 211 as of today. Thank you guys for the constant support and the nice comments. There's been a bunch this week. We really appreciate it. We try to put out high quality content for you guys and try not to road rage on our teams as much as possible. It's been a nice couple of weeks for me in particular. I haven't had to get angry, so there's been a lot more positive United stuff out. But we do this every day. There's content coming out every day. We've got another MLS podcast, so if you're an American and you want to learn about the Galaxy or the MLS as a whole, go check that out. And as the bottom says, we're on the road to 500 at some point in the future. Let's get into it. Grant, Chelsea played maybe one of the worst halves of football I'd ever seen in my entire life from a Chelsea squad, and then proceeded to make 3 substitutions at half and then score 3 goals to end up getting all 3 points, capped off by an Enzo Fernandez game winner. Let's break it down. The mentality switch of the team in the second half.
Yeah. Like you said, that was an absolutely horrific first half display on all fronts. Gittins went off early, so we saw Neto come on, who I was excited to see not coming on from the start, but that happened earlier than anticipated. And then at halftime, we knew at least one sub was coming. Garnacho, I hate to kind of pile it on, but that's up there with one of the worst cameos I've ever seen. I mean, he lost the ball double digits within half an hour. He is responsible for both goals because he's not tracking his man. And then another guy who gets hooked at halftime, Hato, he's in these 2v1s all by himself. He can't do anything. So unfortunate for him. And then Badiashile, who's always been inconsistent, I feel like the past few years with us, had a very bad half as well. So Fofana came on. After the match, the manager said it was really just 4-4-2. Joao Pedro Delap up top, Palmer on the right, Neto on the left, Enzo and Caicedo in the middle. Got your fullbacks, Cucurella and Gusto, just going up and down and go win the game. It took them a few minutes in the second half to get settled. Sanchez kept us in yet another game. I think he was really good as well. But you saw guys step up and take their chances. I mean, the first goal, Fofana just drives forward 20, 30 yards, puts in probably one of the best crosses you'll ever see from him. And Joao Pedro continues his good run of form. Really good header, gets us going. And I mean, yeah, I think mentality sums it up really well. Like Cucurella's goal, it's a cross in from Neto. It's on the back post. Gusto gets it across. The lap tries to put it in at the goal line. Kilman gets a piece of it. It's off the crossbar, and Cucurella, who's 5'8" at best, just head first guy there. He wants it more. They wanted to win that game, and the winner felt like it was coming. And a really nice finish to cap it off. Enzo, that was the 3-year anniversary of the him signing for the club. A great way for him to cap it off. I thought it was a really gutsy performance, and even after the first goal, like the crowd was behind these guys. It felt like the crowd was up for it, and they were loud at halftime. They booed really loud, rightfully so. But the crowd got behind these guys, and it was really something special to see. As awful as that first half performance was, this is the stuff you want to see as a fan, right? Last minute winners at home, guys celebrating, going wild. Like, that's what it's about. And yeah, it's against West Ham, but we should have never been in that position anyways, all that stuff. But it was a fun thing to watch, and hopefully we can carry the momentum over. But yeah, tale of two halves. I feel like we keep saying it.
Yeah. Most dangerous lead in sport, the 2-0. The response is what got me, for sure, when it came to this. West Ham have been in decent form. I think at the end of the day, the talent outweighed their talent, and you guys put it on them for what was – because actually West Ham came out of the half looking pretty good too. Like, it was only a 35-minute sprint, really, from Chelsea. But I think it shows the individual quality that you guys have, that you can – make those changes, bring on some guys, and then immediately put it on a team when you had nothing. Like, there was, like you said, Sanchez had you in the game, and then you went from being completely out of it, West Ham completely dominating the match at Stamford Bridge, to like that. It was just night and day difference. I think that the player quality, as well as just the mentality, there was some switch. I don't know exactly what moment it was in the match, because I don't think it happened with the goal. I thought it happened earlier than that.
I mean, you mentioned the quality that we're bringing on, right? And that's what changes the game. If I'm trying to look at the sustainability, the long term from that, well, the reason we're bringing them on is because we just rotated 7 guys after the Napoli game midweek, and the guys that we're using to rotate are not good enough in this current moment, right? Like, Marc Cucurella is top level. I mean, he's been tired. I'm glad we rested him for 45 minutes, but you see the difference there. I mean, Garnett, all of our wide options are just kind of ass, really, in this current phase. Like, there's nothing really that gets you out of your seat. Bar Esteval, who's gone for personal reasons, but Delap, I think he's a solid young player. He has good attributes, but Joao Pedro right now, that's a level above. The defenders, we don't really have anyone a level above. So Fofana at his best, you can argue it, and we saw it in that 45 minutes. So we saw good things from good players, but still seeing the same concerning things, and that's what the first half was.
Definitely. I think it's just emphasizing that you can't really rely on those players. This isn't anything new for us. Like, I feel like you've definitely harped on this maybe 2 months now. Some of these guys just aren't good enough. And there's this forcing of rotation, whether it be competition or higher ups in the ear of the manager. And we have to see performances like that first half. But I think it is a lot, just mentality-wise, to come down, even knowing you only have 45 minutes instead of a full game to go and get a result. Just the mental fortitude to lock in and go get that win was really, really cool to see.
It's their first ever comeback 2-0 down at halftime in Premier League history.
Wow.
I mean, yeah,
wow, that's a stat I wasn't expecting. Wow.
That's another comeback. I mean, Napoli midweek, they were down 2-1 with a really bad first half performance. So I feel like I also have kind of been saying it a lot. Like, this manager's learning on the job. So for as naive as he may be, as for as wrong as he might get a lineup, or if we over rotate too much, he's addressing it as quickly as possible. So you do have to give flowers there.
Yeah, no, the last 2 points that I'll make is, one, it's a good quality to have, being a good comeback team. It's not something you want to make a habit of. And that's where it'll become an issue. Is that's what we saw with Liverpool earlier in the year. Is it wasn't a quality thing, and it wasn't like, it just became a habit of them getting the late goals, and eventually those do dry up. Like, eventually you just don't have it on the day. That's where you drop points. But if you have that in your locker where you can dig deep and get a result like that after you played midweek at this very high level at a place that is difficult to play at, that's a big sentiment to the players and the manager. The other thing is just the age. Like, if we're talking about all the guys that came on, it's all of your older veteran players. Like, Cucurella is 28. Sanchez had another good game. He's 28. Reece James came on and helped see out the win or get the win at, and he's 26. It's everybody that we've talked about as the experienced players. Like, if you look at the project, and we'll probably talk some more about the project in general, like, I think it's time they got to just switch it at some point. Someone's got to make it happen. But
after we fucking won over the summer, it's infuriating.
Yeah. And on this pod, we'll continue to harp it. But there was one sub that really changed the game, point blank period, for Chelsea, and that was João Pedro. And I think I said it when under Rossini's like first or second game, but I said that he makes the life of the strikers a lot easier. And I think we've seen much better striker play under this manager. And are you seeing the same thing with João Pedro? I mean, this is 5 games, 5 goals, 1 assist.
Yeah, he's been phenomenal. I think, you saw Delap's performance. It was tight. He didn't have too many openings, I'd say. I think he did well in those sort of slim chances to be able to try and keep the ball, have it stick, lay it off. But there's clearly a level above with João Pedro. I think he's really just simplified things, right? When I was really getting on his back, I think it was more for trying to do too much in Palmer's absence. But I do think things are just being simplified. He's shooting more, right? He's just playing more like a 9. That second half, it was him and Delap both up top. But he has that clinical finishing in his arsenal. I mean, we've seen it with his weak foot now as well. I really do think it's just continuing to make that role as clear as possible. You are 9. We need you to score goals, especially without Palmer firing like we've seen from him in the past. We do need another guy to pick up that slack. I thought that would be João Pedro, and then it wasn't him, but now it's starting to look like it can be him again. So I'd love to see that continue, especially with Palmer back. I feel like they have a very good understanding with each other already. But yeah, he's going to be very important for us going forward, I think.
Yeah, Mila, do you see a change in João Pedro because of the manager? Or do you think he's just found a good run of form?
I feel like this is always the question when it comes to João Pedro. It's like, has he reached a new heights, or is this another purple patch like we've seen throughout his career? Because it wouldn't be the first time that he's had a good run of games that raises his stock, only to go back to the conversations we were having like 2-3 weeks ago. I think it's just consistency that we need to see from him. If he can get a month more of this, just game after game contributions, then I think he has risen up. Might just be playing for Chelsea that does that for you, compared to playing for a Brighton with no aspirations for anything. This is different. I don't know. He definitely looks a lot more comfortable though, since Rossini's taken over.
Yeah. I also think he looks fresher. I think he's moving a lot better. I think his work off the ball, you're seeing a lot more of that. Again, we saw reports about, I think it was a game against Brentford where he asked to get taken out of the lineup, and apparently our former manager did not oblige, played him 80 minutes. Could have been that. It could have just been him carrying an injury, but he did look leggy. He does not look leggy right now. And I just think maybe it is the clarity within his role in the team, but I also think from everything we're seeing with the new manager, he seems like, not to say he has no tactics, but he seems like a man manager. He seems like a very good man manager. The personalities, being able to connect with these guys, I do think that's a big strength of his compared to Maresca, especially. I think it's all relative. But it's hard to really say in terms of like a tactical change because we haven't really had much time on the pitch to train, right? We have games every 3 days. So I think for now, it's really just giving him a simple understanding of expectations. And I think that's where it comes like, hey, like we need you to score goals. We need you to be aggressive. And right now we're seeing a good run of form from him, no doubt. But I think Mila brings up a very good point. It could very well just be a purple patch, and we don't want to see that happening.
Yeah, No, that's my only concern. I think he's playing wicked good, but
Yeah.
we saw this
Been
at the Club
phenomenal.
World Cup. Then he dried up for a few months. Now he's got this purple patch. This is exactly what happened to Brighton. That's why he went for the price tag that he went. It's because it's not a consistent deal with him. But what I will say is he's not a player that plays himself into form. I've never seen him that way. I think he just has moments. And for a manager to understand that, not force him to be in lineups and force him to get those moments, that's important. Like the moments kind of have to just come to him. He's never been a player that can, hey, we're going to chuck you out there for 90 and you'll figure it out. I've never seen that with him. I don't think he's one of those players. And I think there's another striker, and we'll talk about it right now, that's kind of going through a similar thing for the first time in his career. But I just don't think that the minutes on the pitch necessarily correlate with him just playing better, if that makes sense. And a guy like Delap being there, where it puts that pressure of him being like fresher and just having some competition where he doesn't have to be in the limelight every single week, that definitely helps too.
Yeah, I just think it's important to get more consistency out of Delap. Like you've said, like the Chelsea setup, they ask a lot of their strikers. So for Delap to get comfortable is an issue, right? I don't think we've really seen the best of him. We have seen good games, performances from him, but I don't really think, especially after this run of form, that there's too much pressure on him right now. I agree. I think I said it before we really saw João Pedro step it up, that having Delap fit would be a good push for him, but I almost think it's not enough now. So I don't know. We'll see. But I do think that if we want to end up comfortably in Champions League spots, he has to play a big part in that.
Yeah. Look, you guys don't have the goals coming from wide areas for that position to dry up. Like, I can almost guarantee you that if the striker position, João Pedro in particular, dries up, like if you're going to rely on Enzo Fernandez to be your goal hunter, like that might work for some time. I don't think it'll work for an extended period of time.
We saw it last year. When it dried up with Jackson and then he got hurt. I mean, we were just begging for goals. Palmer was also out, but yeah, we struggled to find goals. I mean, it's a good point. Outside of Enzo Fernandez appearing and crashing, finding his goal, it's probably going to be a defender on a set piece. Like, I feel like that's more likely than a winger beating someone 1v1, bending one far corner right now.
Yeah. And speaking of defenders and scoring goals off set pieces, there's a big second leg at the Emirates for a chance to stop the quadruple. Down a goal, Chelsea travel to the other portion of London to take on the team that loves the anti-open play XG. It's ridiculous. I genuinely have started to dislike them more as time continues, and even when Facundo comes on here, it's making me dislike them even more, I think, because he's so reasonable. But then I listen to their fans and I go, what the fuck? Like, what the fuck? Like, how are there the same? How is this the same fan base? And I know there's bad apples in all the fan bases, but I feel like the general consensus around them is they enjoy the football that they play, which is unreal. I don't think I could sit there and enjoy that style of play. It bored me to death. But let's preview this game. I don't even know where to start because I know how they're going to play. They're going to sit. I can almost guarantee they sit in a low block.
Do you think so? From minute one? Surely they don't.
I think
they played a really strong side. They did play a really strong side against Leeds. I think, Odegaard rested. Saka might be an injury. I don't think he plays. But they played a strong side. I would imagine they prioritized the weekend. But yeah, I just, especially with Estevao being out with personal issues, I don't expect him to be available. Palmer just played a full 90. I don't expect him to be available. Well, it's going to be João Pedro. Gittins got hurt, so it's João Pedro, Pedro Neto.
Do you just go back to the 4-4-2?
Those are your attacks. I mean, those are.
I mean, look, it works.
United we just got rid of George on loan, so we can't even throw him out wide. Like
that's what I would do. Look, United just put out the blueprint of exactly how to beat that team right now, which is you sit in a deeper block, you force them to beat you in open play, and then you hit them on the counter in a 4-4-2. And you do that with Delap and João Pedro because those are your two best attacking players.
And then Neto and who else out wide, Dylan?
I think you start Hato and you put Cucurella at left mid. I think you start Hato and you put Cucurella at left mid.
I think
Look, man, he's your best left winger, best left forward. Like he's
might
the guy.
be maybe we just put a bunch of bodies in the middle too. I don't know, like a diamond 4-4-2.
Can Lavia give you
Santos
45?
The Santos in the middle with Enzo, Caicedo, Reese in the middle too. I don't fucking know, but yeah, I worry about how we get our goal in this game, let alone how we could keep them off the score sheet. Fofana played 45. I imagine that's the game that we were trying to save him for. Saw a lot of briefs about how important Achampong is. Maybe he plays, but it's really tough for me to gauge just until seeing a lineup. And I feel like ever since like the past month or two, it is virtually impossible to predict how we're going to look going into a game. It is really challenging.
Possible. Because
And
not
I
only
just
are we trying to predict it, but I think the manager's trying to predict what the sporting director.
he's just waiting on the call. Who do I have to play today?
He's like, he's in
gotta
training.
play?
He's like, hey guys, like, look, I really want to play João Pedro and Delap together. Well, look, dude, one of them played a full 90. Like, he can't do it again. Boss, he's 22. No, like, look, we have to protect his transfer value.
Delap will
And
get
if he
sent
gets hurt-
off if he plays another full 90.
Dude, this is part of the Hardy Boys experiment that João Pedro and Delap bring. Is like, you have to let them WWE.
João Pedro's
with
impressed me in that sense. I'll say that out of all the red cards we've gotten this year, I'm shocked it hasn't been him yet. I mean, I remember seeing like he tried an elbow on somebody. Like,
yeah,
I'm
that Brighton
surprised.
one where he missed.
Even yesterday, composure. He kept his composure, so I was very pleased with that. We do have Caicedo going into this game, which we didn't last time. I mean, I think. Do you try Reese, Caicedo, Enzo midfield 3, Gusto's at fullback? Like but then your wide options are just kind of poo. Again, I don't know how we're gonna score. That's my big worry. That's my concern. That's the biggest one for me because I don't think Arsenal are going to play their strongest 11. To your point, Dylan, I don't think they're going to just sit back. There's no way they do that at home against us. I think there's a bit too much pride in that fixture. I think. But surely, I mean, they're definitely going to have a half chance, whether or not it's from open play. I mean, you've seen us defend set pieces. You know the personnel we have there. So, yeah, I do think it's an uphill climb, but having Caicedo in there does give me some hope. It just really depends on if Esteval's available, honestly, because Palmer's definitely not playing after a full 90.
Nope. And we
need a difference maker in that attack.
And he didn't look
a good way of putting it. Down 1-0, going to their house.
Yeah.
Uphill battle.
Yeah.
It's gonna be tough.
Is there any way that they can
for sure
this game?
For sure? Because again, when I've been watching Arsenal lately, I'd say the past few months, like when you just watch it, you're not threatened. You're not like, oh my, like we're gonna get popped, right? Like there's been games like even the Leeds game, West Ham in that first half, where you're like, oh, they can hit us for 4 in this half. With Arsenal, it hasn't been that way this year. In the games I've been watching them against us, it's not like this, oh my goodness, this inevitability with how they're playing. It's just genuinely that inevitability is on the set pieces. And from everything we see with Chelsea, they give away a lot of stupid free kicks. They don't defend set pieces particularly well. So the signs aren't there. Good thing we're not playing it on paper, though. Playing it in between the white lines, so that's always a positive. But from everything available to you, Chelsea, very unlikely in my eyes. But it would be a fantastic result. We've been pulling off a lot of great results lately. Maybe not performances, but let's see what they got. I think they might be up for it, but they also might have just dumped everything in these last 2 games.
Yeah, Mila, do you think there's one player or something that can be the X factor for Chelsea in this one?
I think it's that midfield battle always, especially against them.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm looking at it. I think maybe a Caicedo, Enzo, Reese is possible, just to match the physicality, and then try to create something through the width. But I don't know. It's just tough. It's tough going into any game down. They're going to be going down. The aggregate's 3-2. And it's not like they get home field advantage whatsoever. It's quite the opposite. So they're going to have to match the energy from minute 1. And I think an early goal gets them back into it. But I think they need to assert themselves early in this game, or it's just donezo.
Not too far. I don't think they need to assert themselves too much because I feel like they were almost too up for it in the Premier League matchup, and that's what cost us Caicedo going down with the red card. So you need to be able to balance that. But I mean, this is our third time seeing them this year. You would hope that that's addressed.
There's a difference between getting stuck in and being reckless. You guys can't be reckless. I'd hope that Caicedo knows that. I feel like ever since that moment, he's been much better, even though every commentator on planet fucking Earth wants to tell me that he's looking for a yellow card and that he should be on a yellow card. And every time I'm like, guys, he's played like a nearly flawless game. Like, stop.
Facundo won.
It's fucking ridiculous, man. He
has infected the masses.
It's ridiculous. But I will say that I actually think that I think he starts, and I think he has to be your best player. And that's the way that you win this. And it's Pedro Neto.
Oh, what the hell?
Yeah, you weren't thinking I was going to pull that out. I saw you guys. I saw both of you nod your head, and I was like, you guys have no idea what's coming here.
Well, I was thinking Raya long shot, Caicedo, Baba Booey.
I just think, like you were saying, like you have to have some output from wide players. Garnacho was that output last matchup. I don't think he plays in this one. And I think that Pedro Neto, while I am not high on him, he was pretty good against West Ham, and you're going to need him to create chances on the counter. He's your fastest player. He can be that outlet, and he's going to have to do defensive work because, like you said, they're going to hold the ball. So, look, if he has a great game, if he can get you a goal contribution, you're absolutely in the tie.
You heard it here first, people.
Look, I hope.
Congrats on Wembley.
I hope he has a great game.
I hope I eat my words. Oh, please.
This is the game that Pedro Neto should be stepping up in. Right, like 100%. The games where he just has to run around and be busy and create havoc. I think he can do that. Yeah, and look, you're not going to have a ton of the balls, so he's just got to be productive with. That's really the concern. Is he has to be productive with the limited chances that he's going to have. We haven't seen that yet. This is a shooting star level thing here, but that's how I think you go in there and you win. I mean, that's Mila said it. It's currently the toughest place in the Premier League to play. There's only been one team to beat them there this season. But let's do a score prediction. It won't end up on the predicky counter, but let's do one just so that we can say that we're super smart if it happens. Yeah.
2-1 Arsenal. Sure. Yeah.
That's no fun.
I know. Trying to use my powers for good.
There's no away goal stuff, right? It's just like champs. Give me 2-1 Chels on pens.
Wicked.
Hell yeah.
I'll stick with that idea, but I'll subtract 2 goals and make it a 1-0 Chels win to take it to penalties.
Yeah, fuck that. I'm on Dylan's side. 2-1 Chels. Come on.
2-1 Chels with the pens. Okay, so who nails the last penalty and gets?
Robert's saving a Havertz pen. It's written in the stars.
Oh, that's pretty good. Yeah, I'm gonna leave that there. That's a good way of.
And then Enzo says multiple horrific things in Espanol in his face because Enzo's just such a passion machine, dude.
Yeah, dude, he almost flashed the fucking crowd after scoring, dude. That was ridiculous. I can't believe that was like the first thing that he thought was like, I'm gonna take my top off and almost my pants. Fuck.
Last guy to wear that number at the club was Kovacic. We saw.
Yeah, dude. At least he tried to keep his tighty whities on there. Enzo was ready to get rid of him, dude. Speaking of getting rid of my pants after the match, United won 3 games in a row. My top was off. My pants were on though. It was. I don't really know what to do. This is the second time in 18 months where my club has won 3 games in a row.
That's crazy. You deserve this. You take all the time you need.
Go through the match together. I thought United were good. They did some things well. They did some things poorly. We'll talk about that a little later. Casemiro was fucking awesome again. He continues to be awesome. Bruno was awesome. I thought Ahmed was the unsung hero of this game. I think there's been one player like that every single game, and Ahmed was that for me. And then so Grant's curse was going to be broken very clearly, and he was going to get a Predickie. And then the Ugarte curse came in, and it balanced it out and made it 2-2. And then Bruno Fernandes just took over, and Jumpman decided to get involved, and United win 3-2, and it's 3 games in a row. It took Carrick 3 games to do it. It took Amram, I think, like 43 games to do, or something. Yeah, something dumb. It's a lot of games.
Heinous. Something heinous.
And now United sit in 4th again. Now only 5 points off of Villa in 3rd, in a very, very contested top 4 or top 5 race, because we're going to get top 5 for Champions League. I said it last week. I think that it's Champions League or bust now for United. I think that's just what you got to do. You either got to set up Carrick for next season in this way, or you got to set up the next manager with an arsenal to go with. What did you guys think of the match? Every United match at this point is just fireworks. There's no
also early. They're never at a reasonable time.
No, that's what happens when you're not playing twice a week
I got to
ever.
tune in towards the end. Yeah. But I didn't watch the full match. Kind of what I expected, though. Like, this was never going to be an easy game where they walk all over Fulham. And at the end, they managed to come away with a hard win. I think that's what's important. I kind of said the same thing about Chelsea to you guys in the group chat. It's like both you guys came away with wins when you probably wouldn't have a month ago, a year ago. Like that's the big thing. It's progress. It's not necessarily about the result or the points, but to see that your teams have made progress in areas that have been points of issues for a long time now. I think that's the most important thing. I mean, at 2-2, you probably think the old United, not the old, but like United of recent would probably just lay down and take the draw, take the point. But to go out there and win it, I think is fantastic. And like you said, Bruno's been on fire, and now he's just got free roll to pull the strings out there, maybe break an assist record.
He's getting close. We'll talk about that. Grant, what did you see from the match?
Yeah, Fulham are always a threat. I mean, they play a ton of just attacking-minded players, even just from the jump. So you know what their intentions are. I think Bruno's been in a great run of form. I think Kobbie Mainoo being reintroduced. I mean, it wasn't fucking rocket science, but there looks like there's a lot more control and ideas in the middle. They're not really scared to play through the middle anymore. I mean, Shaw's played this entire year. Today, he was almost like a wingback, just bombing up and down, holding the width. I mean, fair play. It's contract year, World Cup year, so maybe we should have seen that coming. Casemiro has been phenomenal. It's going to be tough to see him go from a United perspective. And I think Laumans too. I mean, a lot of people jump the gun with him, talking about, oh, he's this, he's that, when in reality, he's at minimum a standard solid goalkeeper. And when you go from what you had the past few years and the uncertainty there to just solid for now, potential for even more, I think that changes a lot, especially for the guys playing in front of him. Maguire and Martinez look a lot more assured, knowing that they have a reliable goalkeeper there. So yeah, things are definitely clicking. Important to be able to show that you can keep your heads up. But yeah, it looked really comfortable up until the very end.
Yeah. But we can talk about that, because that's really where I want to go with this conversation, is while it's 3 games in a row and while these are awesome from a fan perspective, look, the game should have been over at 75. Like, there should have been no reason for Casemiro and Cunha to come off and the game be the way that it went. And I know that it took a penalty and a worldie for it to get to that point, but United don't control games. And this was the same sentiment that I had under Amram, which is they don't find a way to just put their foot on the ball and take a tick and wait and like see out portions of matches where Fulham, for example, were getting back into the game like right around when Casemiro was taken off. And I saw Lissandro do it. I saw Maguire do it. And I think I also saw Ugarte do it. And I was like, why are we hitting a long ball here? You're up 2-0 at home with 15 minutes to go. Put your foot on the ball, play the ball around. They're going to come at you with energy, of course. The pass will find itself if you just move the ball. But they don't like to do that. There's a certain element, and I know Amram talked about this early in the season, where like it's just almost too go, go, go. And that makes United dynamic and it makes them clinical, and that allows them to be one of the best forward lines in the league. But there's certain portions of the match where it's like, okay, we just need to pump the brakes half a sec so we can see out matches, because there's a level of letting the other team get into the match. And they were about 50-50. I think United held a little more possession up until I think like the 60th minute mark. And then it was all Fulham because they just let them have the ball. And they kept trying to play counter, like just too many forward balls. And it's like, just stop and breathe. I don't know if you guys see the same thing with United, or if that's maybe just the way that they have to play because they don't have a guy that can play with that type of tempo. I don't really know.
Yeah, I mean, it's in the nature of a lot of your players to just forward thinking, right? Bruno's such a maverick. You have these really talented attacking players who've really just gotten the shackles taken off. So they're a little excited. But I think Kobbie Mainoo adds a lot there. I mean, we're talking a lot about the triangles they're creating in the attacking third, but I think Kobbie in the build-up is just as important in that aspect. Luke Shaw, Lissandro Martinez also really good in that aspect. So I think there's potential for it. And like you said, it's not necessarily all about tactics, and it can be a lot more of just understanding a game state and literally, like you said, just putting your foot on the ball for a second, playing out a little bit more. And I think they're more than comfortable enough doing that. But like you said, Dylan, maybe it is just the subs, right? The personnel, the drop off in quality from first string to second string in certain positions. But they're clearly capable in moments. We see it even when they're comfortable in games, like when they were up 2-0, you see them passing out the back. They did it at the Emirates. So yeah, I really just think maybe it is the personnel.
Ugarte is the only guy that tends to have a really high pass percentage, and it's because he can't play the ball. Like there's no tempo to it. It's just like he gets the ball and he passes it back to Lissandro and puts him in a back spot.
Anything further than 5 yards is
yeah.
Yeah.
But that's honestly, that's part of my issue here is like I looked at the passing percentages of the midfield, and while I think Bruno had the second highest at 83. I expect that out of Bruno. Like 83 is actually a pretty good day in the office for Bruno. But like Kobe was at 85, Casemiro was at 79. Those numbers in games when you're up by 2 goals needs to be like way higher. There's got to be one guy that can dictate tempo a little bit and just be at like 90%, where the ball comes into him, he just kind of finds the open man. And then you just recycle the play like that. And I feel like every team's kind of got that. Like, especially I watch your guys' games, right? Like Chelsea, City, Arsenal, and even Liverpool. Like Liverpool, not really actually. But I watch your guys' games and I go, these guys have a guy who in games when you're up by a goal or two can just like and then it's just 90%, and then you see out the match, and that's it. But this was my big argument on like why a guy like Ruben Neves would have made sense, because in a game where you can take off Casemiro, you could bring on a guy like Ruben Neves who could just slow the game down, be a little bit more of a tempo creator. That's not going to happen. I assume that United do zero business here, which is awesome. We love to only operate out of one window when they absolutely could do more. But Mila, do you see any different, or do you think that there's kind of a beauty in the way that they play in chaos?
No, I definitely think you're right. I just that hurt. You saying that City were a good example of that.
Today was not a great example of that, but in general, you tend to be.
I'll get into that later. Yeah, no, they definitely need someone to control a game, especially when you go up. You had a 2-0 lead against a Fulham team that can score goals out of nothing, so don't give them anything. Easier said than done, obviously. And even if you want to play control possession football, sometimes they don't allow that. So to be able to just see it out in the chaos is a good attribute to have, but certainly, like we were talking about with the comebacks for Chelsea, it's not something you want to rely on. You're definitely going to want to be able to build that control in games to see them out.
Yeah. That portion of United's games has become habit where they are struggling to see out matches for that reason. That's why it's becoming concerning. That's the thing that'll ultimately stop them from getting Champions League football, is if they continue to rely on that. Because smaller sides and teams like that, they rely on momentum. And if you give them momentum, they will take advantage. They will take advantage. But you said it at the very top, I think, of the review, which is Bruno Fernandes has 12 assists, which at this rate, he's going to break a Premier League assist record. And every week I do this where I say that he's the best at something, and it progressively gets bigger and bigger because that's just how I'm feeling in the moment. Last week it was best midfielder in the Premier League. Now I'm going to go with he's the best 10 in the world. He continues to do this. By next week, I will be saying that he's the best midfielder in the world. So I'm going to pose the debate question of, is he the best 10 in world football?
On form?
At this, you want
like
to
there's a lot of guys, like, I don't know about a lot, but there's guys that take over him, like Musiala. Yeah.
You're taking him over because of his age, not because he's better than Bruno Fernandes.
I think he's really good too.
Yeah, but he's not better than Bruno Fernandes. And if we want to talk about consistency, he's done it over 6 years.
Right. He's the best right now. Sure.
That's my issue with this argument when it comes to Bruno Fernandes. It's always we're better than Bruno until it's time to prove that you're better than Bruno. And
I mean, you were cool with him in the pivot. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, that's how good he is.
Where do we want? Is he a 10?
Yeah, well, he's the best. His best position is the 10. I think he's just that good of a midfielder where he can do pretty much anything. His defense isn't great. That's why it didn't work great, but he still produced. And now I'm sitting here at the 10 and I'm looking at the guys around him and I'm like, I just don't, at this current moment in time, I don't think anyone stacks up.
Yeah, I think on current form, it's a hard argument to make against him. But yeah, I still think there's guys I'd take. I mean, obviously I'm biased, but like I'd take Palmer over him.
I watched Palmer this week and I watched Bruno this week, and that's two different players.
Yeah, no, right now it's not close. Right now it's not even close.
Yeah, but
Palmer's hurt. He's not up to his standard right now. Palmer's not in the conversation right now. I'd absolutely concede that, but I'd still.
I think that goes back to last year too. Like, but it's a little harder because we're just now seeing Bruno back in the 10. But I don't know. He's on a tear.
Palmer let him hang against PSG.
Is,
like I'm cool with Palmer last year.
I definitely think out of every competition, other than the Premier League, like it's a lot less on the body.
40
it's a lot
games,
less pressure. Like you're focused on one thing. Yes, it's going good now, and he's been really good.
Phenomenal.
I don't know. I was more ready to talk about the fact that he might break the record.
Yeah, I mean,
I've seen plenty of player almost break the record. They are on track
record
every fucking time. It is cursed. He's gonna if he manages to not fall off a cliff like every other player that has ever come close to this record, then yes, we could say that he's the best number 10 in the world, I think.
Well, okay, so where does the argument become? So if he breaks that record, that's the best individual season that a attacking mid can have, right? Like it might not live up to the trophy.
It's just one stat. I think it's phenomenal. I don't think that automatically gives you that title though, because assists, as good as assists are, there's a lot of times where an assist can just be like a layoff and then boom, 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 goal. So like, I don't think that's really a lot of Bruno's assists. I'm not saying that's him, but to give him that crown off one stat, I wouldn't. But I also think at the same time, it would be very impressive to break that record. Like Mila was saying, it seems to be cursed. So
it is a cursed record. Everyone gets super close, and then it's like they literally legit die. I don't understand it. But
guys just stop finishing chances. Like something has to happen.
I just think this guy's floor is so high where I just don't see dips. There's never a dip. There hasn't been a dip. Like he got hurt.
And
he hurt his hamstring.
Yeah.
And there's been no dip. To talk about injuries.
Yeah. But like also we want to talk about injuries too. He's playing one game a week is the thing for me. Like if
but he's also played
next season, you guys.
That's the first time he's missed a game in 6, like that's like the first time he's missed extended time in 6 years. So that's not, that argument only exists because we're saying that it exists this season. And that's what I'm saying. Is like, we're talking about 6 years of sample size of Bruno Fernandes being one of the best creative mids in the world. I think this year in particular, he is the best player.
I don't
just
have
because he's
I
not
don't
playing
have
the
anyone to argue against him at this
Agreed.
current
He's
point
having the
in
best season of
time,
all the 10s.
but
yeah. Okay.
I'm not.
As long
I
as I
don't
can
think
get
many
that agree.
tens are performing well this season either. So I don't think there's
Yeah.
much to compare to.
It's like the
The
Arsenal
10s in the
titles.
league just the
All
10s
the
in the league
old
right now
tens
outside of
have
Palmer
either
is
their legs blew up, literally blew up, and they're gone.
yeah.
They don't play the game anymore. They probably retired, or the other ones have been shit.
I
Like they've been
is he
pretty
the
crap.
last
There's not much competition to anything. So as good as he's been, like what am I comparing him to? So yes, he is the
Verts.
best number 10 in the world, but if we're comparing him to the rest of the crop compared to other years,
Yeah, Kai Havertz just played in the
it
10. Like, it's
doesn't
dark.
the title doesn't move me as much, even though it might be the case. And I'm not trying to take anything away from him. I'm
No,
just
look,
making
I'm telling you, if he
conversation on
continues this
the
form,
topic.
I'm gonna continue to boost what this title is every single week, and we can sit here and have this debate because
He's in my fantasy team. I'm with it. Like, it's cool. It's fine by me.
I just think that this, for me being the quote unquote stats guy, like all the stats back it up at this point. I honestly, to your point, Mila, I think the 10 position is just different. Like Jude Bellingham is a 10. Is he a 10?
No
Like,
comment.
are him and Bruno in the
Stats-wise,
same
Cherky's
conversation of 10?
probably one of the closest in the league, stats-wise.
Yeah, and because he's
it's
an
his
actual
first season
creator.
in the league. It's his first season in the league in a team that's honestly been struggling. As many goals as we produce, like we're a struggling team right now, and that's his competition. As much as I love Cherokee, but there's just that's one guy, and then Wirtz would be the other competition in the league who has just started to get going. Palmer, he's having a bad season. He's struggling with injury. Foden started off good. He's fallen off a cliff as of late. Like, there's nothing
Morgan
to compare
Rogers,
him
he's
to
been pretty
as
good.
in other years where I think he had a lot more to live up to, and he competed with that as well.
Yeah, you know what? The Cherokee point, that he's the only player in their first seasons are very similar, where I look at them and I go, wow, like you really changed the way that this team can play fundamentally.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas like even Wirtz, like he's just a cog in the machine. It's not like he's doing anything crazy special. You know what I mean? It's not like he's getting like he had his best
He's been
game
picking it up. He's been
in this
picking it
last
up. Like,
performance, but
he looks smooth.
he
But,
looks smooth,
yeah.
but it's not like he's some I don't
Sure.
see him as some creative engine. Like, does that
I
make
see
sense?
what
Like,
you're saying.
there's a different way of them playing, and maybe Wirtz can come that type of player with time. I don't really see that happening, but yeah, I'll leave it there because I think he is, and you guys on current form agree. So I'll take my win where I can get one when it comes to Bruno Fernandes, especially coming
2
from
more
two
wins and that guy can cut his hair.
Don't bring it up. One, I don't want to see that guy's face anymore. I bet he's a great guy, but that hair is fucking atrocious. Like Carrick's really got to help him. Talking about terrible, atrocious things that happened today. Arsenal moved 6 points clear, which we did that same episode 2 weeks ago, but that's not the real story. That's not the real story. And do we want to just start with that goal, the first one? Because that's the whole match. The game changed from that point on.
Yeah.
Or do you want to start with the team?
Let's start with the team, and then we can touch on that, because I don't think the headline necessarily is that we got robbed. It's just part of the downpour of issues on the day. But I didn't want you to change the thumbnail, so this is perfect. Yeah, we played one, like it was boys against men. The commentator said it. I think I was thinking it. Most people were probably thinking it. Tottenham couldn't come near us in the first half, and I don't even think we were trying. That's the scary part. I thought we were doing a training day exercise where the guys are jogging it around, going at 70% capacity, and just 2 goals. Here you go, easy, and we'll make more in the second half, which has not been the case all season. So as good as the first half was and how much I want to talk about it, it just doesn't fucking matter, because the second half woes that we talked about, a month ago, 2 months ago, are still there. 80% of our goals come in the second half conceded. It's unacceptable. I don't know how you go from dominating a team to becoming dominated. And I guess I do know, but it's just, to me, it's unacceptable. A team of that stature to just roll over and not get out of second gear when the other team picks up the pace. It's like, it's ridiculous. Yeah. I'll let
Yeah,
you guys
Tottenham
talk a little bit
Tottenham were
before I keep
pathetic in that
going
first
on.
half. They were terrible. I thought you guys could have had 5. The only chance that comes off the top of my head that was missed was that Holland lob he tried, but like you said, Mila, it did not look like they came out of second gear. I mean, they were just cutting right through the middle of Spurs with like 3 passes. It was way too easy. Training ground, you have it spot on with how the first half looked. And then, yeah, I mean, like you said, the momentum changed when they got their first goal. And yeah, they said they reviewed it, but I mean, it took less than a minute to clear that. I've seen much less get scrutinized a lot harder by VAR, regardless of the outcome. So not only did they get it wrong, but it wasn't even looked at that long. That's really where the problems start to come in. So that's really tough. But and then they get an equalizer on a worldie. I mean, that's probably one of the best goals. Yeah, that's going to be the best goal Solanke scores in his career. Um, they win it off Gallagher pressing hard and winning the ball back and just putting the ball in the box, right? It's behind Solanke and he gets a piece on it. Donnarumma kept them alive in the second half.
As he does.
As he does, like you said. I mean, we have our critiques are oh, he's this on the ball, he can't claim a cross, whatever. I mean,
Fucking
he is
fantastic on the ball
I
today,
think
too. Sorry.
the only other guy in that conversation with him is Courtois with the shot stopping.
Yeah.
I mean, it is ridiculous. So he kept them in that game, but again, a goal that should not have counted and a Puskas nominee is what takes 2 points away. So I mean, regardless of how bad that call is, I don't think they should have been in a position to still be conceding, giving away 2 points. They could have been well clear before that moment, but it definitely has to sting from a City perspective for it to end up costing you at the end of everything, regardless of it wasn't good enough and you guys should have done more to get the 3 points. It's still not right. It's still you feel a
It's,
type of way about that.
yeah, I mean, coming from a team that I feel has strong accountability for their actions, I think this is the part where it's most frustrating. Is because, yes, these guys know they are not doing good enough in those second halves. But if we were to just lose on our own accord, it would not be nearly as painful. But 4 weeks in a row where it just seems like VAR cannot get the right choice against us. Not 4 weeks in a row or 4 games in a row, but 4 Premier League games in a row. It's one competition. Um, Handball doesn't get called against us. Debatable red card against Dallo early in the derby in a game that we're struggling in. Like, these are things that change the course of the game, and to say that they don't matter is ridiculous. I can excuse 1 or 2 or maybe even 3 or 4 throughout the season, but 4 in the span of 4 weeks is atrocious. And if it was just City, I'd probably still be complaining, but it's not just City. We watched a Matoma goal get called out the day before. Absurd. I think PGMO has been fucking atrocious. And I know I sent it to you guys that they turned off their comments after saying that they checked the VAR for the foul
Oh
on
yeah, those are
Yehi.
always
Like,
off. They've been off since day one. They know the
ridiculous.
drill.
I like,
They've always been scared.
why even tweet about it on a social media platform if you can't let, like, you don't want to face the backlash of it? Then fuck off. Don't even put that up to cover up your bullshit, because they didn't check it. Let's be honest. They did not check that for a foul. That, I don't know. We probably would have dropped points regardless. It might have just been different the way we've been playing, but to have it be like that is super frustrating. Pep's losing his head, our captains are losing their head. I'm at a loss of words every week, and half of it is because of the way my own team is playing in the second halves, and the second half is just, I don't know how my team is supposed to compete when we're whistled differently. Holland is whistled differently than every striker in the fucking world, not even the Premier League, the world. Um, Rodri got fucking ripped to shreds this game. The same way he
Early.
did in the game where his ACL got torn, and there's no yellow cards being thrown out to protect the players. to dictate the game and the physicality. I understand the physicality has been raised, but this is so different. We're getting fouled, like menacing fouls, high up tackles to the legs, the ankles, the knees. And then when City blow on their players, it's a foul. Because if you look at the stats, they only had 3 more fouls than us. If I watch back the game though, that the level of their foul to our foul is completely different. And I don't know how they're supposed to compete at this point because they're not allowed to, is what it seems to me.
This is so similar to basketball. Like I said the 2-minute report in our text thread, but because you guys play with possession and most of your guys are like flair players, less physical players, there is a certain amount of like every other team plays you physical, and because they are the aggressors, that means that the refs don't call you the same. And the difference in the two sports is you don't get free throws for those things. And I watched Holland get tackled in the box and didn't get a call. And he wasn't the aggressor in the situation. He was being literally hugged on a corner. And I've seen worse get called, or like way less get called on corners. And I'm going to be honest with you. I know that you've said that it's not that first one. Gahey gets kicked in the Achilles. Slinky makes no contact with the ball. Gahey makes a great defensive play. That's a foul. And if that happens, even the commentators said it. It was, this game goes from being 2-1, where Spurs are at home for the next 30 minutes or whatever it was, with momentum and can play the aggressor. And the difference in that is that happens and that happens. And then if it's 2-0, you guys see out the match. I'm actually almost guaranteeing that. And then the other portion of this is I think they know they got that wrong. That's why they put out the statement to kind of back themselves. Rodri should have been off the pitch too. He should have had a second yellow. Very, very.
I don't like that argument.
I
don't like that argument of Rodri should have been sent off because he's not putting in these knucklehead fucking challenges if he's not pissed off that we just got hard done by the refs.
The first tackle, Mila, that comes to mind, I think it was like 10 minutes into the game. Kolo Muani, Rodri gets rid of the ball.
Oh my God,
he fully takes him out.
Immediate yellow
second
card.
Late, easy yellow. Set the tone like, hey, that's a stupid tackle. You're not trying to win the ball.
It was like
you're
2
in the
seconds late. It was
that sets the tone.
This is the
issue. Like if
issue.
you give him a yellow for that foul, it prevents that just.
How did Rodri get his yellow?
Avalanche effect.
And then tell me how Rodri got his yellow.
No, look, the 2 other offenses would have been yellows to me, but the issue is I think that they're just doing makeup calls because they got it wrong. I think they looked at the offsides. They were like, "Oh, he's on. We're gonna give it." They didn't even. I don't think they looked at it.
They're eager.
I don't think they looked.
Yep. There's a reason that they do that. Like as much as people want to say that the refs are on our side and the league is on our side, I don't understand how they can watch this, how they can look at 115 fucking cases on our head top and come up with this bullshit to satisfy their propaganda for why their team can't fucking win a title. And if this is how their team needs to win a title, then that's fucking fine by me, but I will not let you forget about it.
It's just ugly viewing experience. That's what this season has been from a refereeing perspective, and that's across all games because this is not the first time. It won't be the last time, and there's been about 30 or 40 other matches this season where a ref's decision or a VAR decision, which I think is objectively been just wrong, has affected the outcome of a match. That was the difference between all 3 points and no points, or 1 point. We've seen games like the you were just talking about, the Everton-Brighton game. That's the difference between all 3 points for Brighton and Everton scraping by with the last-second winner. It's garbage. It really is. The product this season from that perspective is garbage, and they allow some teams to play super physical. They allow some teams to not play physical at all. It's just, I think it's shit. I've enjoyed watching less games this season from that perspective, especially big 6 games. Like I wanted to get up for this Spurs City game because they tend to be good games, but then that just ruins the experience because I don't see this game in the same light as I should.
It's a sour taste in the mouth. And then one more thing about that Brighton thing, just so I can get it off my chest, is that Everton's score in the 97-20
It's a good one.
Why is that time allotted? Because
'Cause
they
they-
reviewed Matoma's goal and called it offsides when it wasn't offsides. So the time that they took and gave to the game to wrongfully call a goal offsides is what the other team uses to win the game. I think that is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I'm at a boiling point. We've had this for almost 2 years, this podcast, and I've barely talked about the referees. And I think in the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I can no longer take it. It's just been bad all around the league. And I don't know what to say anymore.
Yeah,
To
it
like you
sucks.
were saying, the way when the referee dictates games, when they have a say on how the game goes, like it's terrible. The product is tainted.
It is. All right. I think part of that conversation bleeds over into the next conversation, which is about Holland and just his lack of play. We've heard you speak about the way that he's refereed different. Obviously, that affects his general play, right? Because he's not allowed to be as physical. Teams are allowed to be more physical with him. I still don't think that I don't know if he's not healthy or if he's just not finding the
I'm
same pockets or they're not finding
I'm
him.
debunking the conversation that he had a bad game today because he didn't. I thought he played really good. He had created 4 key chances for my fucking team that they didn't do fucking anything with. 4.
I just don't know if he's
From the
involved.
guy that can't. He created 4 chances for the team.
Remember
As a
multiple
striker who
times he
doesn't
would play
normally
like a
create
first
chances.
time
Like, I
ball
don't
over the
understand.
top to Semenyo. I thought
Semenyo
yeah,
was garbage today, and I think that was
his
more
touch
the
was heavy.
talking point. If Holland is like, if he can't get in the goal scoring, he had an assist and then got fucking rugby tackled down to the ground when he was going to score that goal. But Cherky had to
Yeah.
make a business decision and score the goal. I like I just don't want to. Especially, it's mainly our fans. It's not even so much rival fans, but our fans that are saying that he was atrocious today. Like, what are we talking about?
No,
He did so much. He freed up Semenyo wide on the wing, 1-on-1 with a fullback. He couldn't beat fucking Destiny Udogie. I don't know. It's
yeah.
frustrating, and I get why he's getting the shit. Like, he's laughing around with Udogie, but this is just his personality. He sees the bullshit and he just laughs it off. He's always been like this.
I don't
And
know.
if we want the Warrior Viking, then he's just gonna get a yellow card called on him. Like, I don't. This is where I get frustrated because I know how I would react and how I've seen my team react for years. And if they do that, they get punished for it. So it's like you're getting bullied at school and you try to go stand up to your bully and you get called into the principal's office. The fuck are you supposed to do?
Yeah. No, I actually have nothing to. I don't think it has anything to do with his general play. I mean, there's just a large enough sample size for us to have a conversation about him. I just don't think he's been involved enough. This game was different. This game, you're right. He was on the ball a little more, but he still had the least touches on the pitch. I'd like to see him get the ball more, is what I'm trying to say. And I don't even care if that's.
Definitely.
It's kind of like just in basketball where you get a guy a bunch of shots just to get him in rhythm. Like, I'd like to see him just get the ball at his feet a little more. And even if that means that he's getting fouled and he loses the ball here or there, like, that's fine. I think that you just need to go back to some of the things that you were doing earlier in the season, which was just like, we're going to force feed Holland here and hope that he gets going. He's the opposite of João Pedro. Like, I want more Holland, not less Holland. And I think that his quality's been proven this year that he can step up and have the ball at his feet a little more. And 31
I
touches
watched
in a
guys
game
go
against
through
Spurs isn't
him
good enough.
through his back when he tries to put his back up to goal and the ref doesn't say, like, yeah, you can't play against this sometimes. I think today is a different conversation than the other games. Some of the last couple games he's been a ghost and not involved. On today though, would we want him to drop into space and come receive the ball to then do what he did today and play Semenyo through on goal? Like, it doesn't do anything for anyone.
Well, okay, let's not that. This is my biggest thing on. Let's not relate bad results with good process, because that's what that is. That's good process. Semenyo just didn't bury the chances, and that's what you brought Semenyo in to do, was to do that exact thing. So you have to
No, the
continue to
chances.
do
I mean,
that.
his shooting was not the issue today. Let's be honest. He had good finishing. It was his dribbling. His dribbling was atrocious, and I
Sure,
think
but
that
like
can be
that's a
said
player
about
you just
most of
gotta.
our attacking players today. I think that was one of the bigger issues too. Is in the second half, every time they tried to dribble, they dribble it right at the defender, and lose it, and then there's a counter, and then we're not in formation. We have to scramble, and it was just complacency. The big thing for me was, like we were talking about way earlier, they never got out of second gear. They were complacent with the 2-0 win and thought that they could just cruise on by and then maybe save the energy for a feisty Newcastle game. It's just, I don't, yeah. For him
Yeah.
to get more involved, I don't think it's him dropping in to deep and receiving the ball, though. I think that comes from our team. And I think Holland perhaps even mentioned it in some press conferences lately, is that like, what does Holland need to do to get better? He said the team needs to get better. That was word for word his quote. He hasn't put anything on him. Not like, and I don't think it's him protecting him either. The guy gets paid a shit ton of money. He's one of the most paid people in the whole fucking country. I genuinely think he needs like a service. He's just not the type of guy that's going to go get the ball and dribble, score. Maybe in the final third he can get the ball a little earlier, take a couple touches, and get a shot off. But for him to help out in the build-up is just, I don't know. I don't know why we're expecting that.
I just think that I've seen it this year. I just want the ball to him more. That's kind of what I want to see. Like, I don't think there should be a game where he finishes with both. Yeah, like literally, if you guys conceded a little bit more possession to just try to force feed him the ball, like, I don't think that's the worst thing in the world, because look, you're with that possession, and it's not like you're doing a ton with it. It's complacent to a certain extent.
No, I think we're definitely in agreement. And the one thing we haven't talked about in all of this is that this is Jeremy Doku's team this season.
And he
hasn't
been
talked
available.
about it in preseason. We literally, that was, I think, the only one outside of Holland that we had nailed down on the team sheet was Doku, because he looked that good in preseason, and he's looked that good throughout the season. He's been finding Holland plenty, and he's unstoppable in that inside role. And this formation's kind of built for him to thrive. No one's stopping him in that inside 10, left 10. So I think that's been hurting us a lot, but obviously that's just part of having Jamie Doku. So we can't use it as an excuse. None of these are excuses.
Yep.
But I do think it's a talking point. Like, how do we get that output out of that position if Doku's not there? And today we had Cherokee it looked like O'Reilly or Bernardo at times, just switching in and out.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But it's just not enough creativity. Like, I think when Cherokee went out, we lost all creative flow, and it's the same conversations. This is why I don't do fucking 5 things learned anymore, because it's the same conversations we've had. And I don't know. Is it like, who do we blame at that point?
No one. I mean, you guys are still the second best team in the league.
That's the thing too. Like, we're at the end of all of it, and as angry as I am right now, like, we are second and 6 points off.
And you're only
Arsenal.
6 points off.
And
Everything
we're
is
Manchester
perspective.
City. If we were any other team, yeah, sure. But this is our bread and butter. I say this a lot. No matter how down in the dumps I am, it's not over till it's over. Just 14 more games more?
Yeah. You guys could turn it on with the snap of fingers, and then you go on. I mean, if you win your game against Arsenal at home, you're 3 points back. It's one game.
I'm hoping all of this is just building a story for our next documentary.
Yeah, well, I'm hoping that actually United's building their
it's building United story.
But I think that is a perfect segue, because it is 6 points, but this is another massive game at the weekend. We're skipping over the Newcastle one because that's not important. This is a massive game for me, because I need Liverpool to lose very badly. No, but like, look, you win this game, maybe you build some momentum. It's a very difficult game. Is it at Anfield or is it at the Emirates?
I'm pretty sure it's at
Or Emirates, sorry. I'm mixing up the top people. Or at the Etihad.
I know what you meant. Yeah. I'm pretty sure it's at Anfield.
Okay, so after playing Newcastle midweek, like you said, it's grueling. You just went through another grueling battle with Spurs, and then you have to go at the weekend to play a team that just won 4-1. I don't think they're that good. But it's a chance to build momentum, and it's a chance to get right against a good team this time. Not a get right against Wolves, a get right against the team that you have been in rivalry with, to just show them that even when they were at their best, it doesn't matter because they come crashing down to earth, and you guys can totally put like the nail in the coffin, so to speak, on maybe Arne Slot's tenure. I think it could be one of those matchups. So let's preview it. Let's start with that Doku kind of area, because I don't know if he plays in this one. So
I hope he plays. I really hope he plays. It's a week from now, so
what did he have? It was an ankle?
Calf.
Oh.
He's just muscle injuries. He's too explosive for his own
He's
good.
too fast.
Yeah, that's literally his muscles twitch
too
quickly. Yeah, I think it was. I don't know. I don't know anything actually. I'm no ITK. I hope that it was all precautionary and that he will be in the match for Liverpool, because that is a game changer in that match. Liverpool's defense hasn't been the greatest, and he tends to like a game against Liverpool. Granted, it was Trent at one point, but I think he can do a lot of damage, and especially in this new system.
So was I? I think I'd take my chances. Even though Soboslai's been pretty good there, I'll take my chances.
Yeah, I mean, he'll be more inside, so it's just going to be ripping anyone and everything. Yeah, I think Marmoush is someone I want to see in this game. Just, it's hard to do this, though, because where do you play
Where do you put
these players?
Okay, so Liverpool play a game of very similar to United, where it's almost chaos, less control. Like, do you try to, because it's Anfield, do you try to sit back a little bit, play more like the beginning half of the season? Or Grant, let me switch this to you. How do you think Pep approaches this? Do you think he sits back a little bit and tries to eat some pressure? You think he puts his foot on the ball and says, we're going to take control of the game, similar to they did with Spurs today?
Yeah, I don't think Pep's backing down from this Liverpool side. I think Liverpool's path to victory comes through. I mean, they're guys that are in form right now. I mean, Ekitike and Vert seem to have been building this understanding between each other, and it's starting to click. But the same defensive frailties exist within Liverpool. And I think that's something that City need to exploit, especially Szoboszlai being at right back. I mean, he's a huge part of that midfield. So when he's not there and he's at right back, that's something you should probably look to exploit. I mean, they're starting to play that sort of split striker up top. So it might be Salah, Ekitike, Verts behind them, and then what? Gravenberch, McAllister. Yeah. I'm not sure, but yeah, Liverpool, I still think as good as they are going forward, they have so much quality in those areas. If City are up to the standard that they've shown at times this season, they should be able to take care of this.
Yeah. I'm looking at Semenyo. I think he needs a bounce back performance, and he already proved earlier in the season that he can handle the Anfield crowd. He's got some animosity there because of all the shit that happened, and he also just tore him to shreds. And a guy like that on the counter, similar to Haaland, like Van Dijk's been easy to get at this season. Konate, shout out to Konate, by the way, but he's been poor in the same regards. That's kind of how I see City winning this, is just Haaland and Semenyo. I don't know where Doku's status is, so I don't want to say Doku, but he'd be my match winner.
This is the thing. If Doku's out, I want Haaland, Marmoush, and Semenyo all playing.
Marmoush off the left?
Mhm.
Or
And
okay,
behind the two of them, free flowing if they need to, but more specifically that I think just more goal scorers on the pitch is what we need if we're not gonna surround Holland with creators necessarily. We just have to have people that can put the ball in the back of the net. So if we're gonna run one creator in Cherokee, then let him have more options to create to, rather than a 1-2 punch from Cherokee to Holland. Kind of like what they were expecting with KDB. It's a lot to expect out of Cherokee to just
Yeah.
pull assists out of his ass, even though he does, and pull goals out of his ass, even though he does. But just because he's living up to that in his first season doesn't mean we should expect that, I think. And it's going to come down to goal scorers in this game. And hopefully Ruben Diaz coming back. But
Oh, I didn't know he
you
was
put
close.
him. Yeah.
You play him over Kusanov, right?
Is that a good idea? Like
I don't know. I don't know.
You're muted. You're muted.
Oh, I
I
am?
saw it pop up. I think
No,
Kusanov
great,
in those
sorry.
transitions is very valuable. Especially, I mean, we talked about it with Gahey coming in, but having that sort of presence next to him, it really just kind of takes the leash off of him, gives him more confidence, I would say, going into those sort of challenges 1v1. We saw it in the Spurs game. I thought he was really good in that department. I think it's probably safer to stick with that pairing. I mean, you guys are up 2 in the Carabao tie. Yeah, I think you rotate there. But yeah, Kusanov's looked
You
good.
rotate too much. You
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
you sacrifice. You risk losing that another
You
2-0
can't do that.
lead
You're right.
and going into Anfield. Like it's very dangerous territory that we're playing with here.
I'd like to see Nico G play midweek and get like 70, because that can be the guy. I think you talked about it the most. Like, he's Rodri 2.0. You guys were playing great. He got hurt. Then things kind of started to, get clunky. Getting him back to his best and getting him back to full fitness, that can change things when you have him back in the side.
No, definitely.
And you don't have to put Nico O'Reilly up when you're trying to get 44 passes on Prize Picks. Nico Riley going back to left back in this one and not playing in the midfield?
Gonna have to.
Or
I
did
really
he get
know.
hurt? Well, that was a
what
disgusting
happened.
collision that he had. Yeah,
Again, like that one actually probably wasn't a foul out of all.
it wasn't, but he still got bumbleclatted.
Yeah, I thought his knee was gone
nasty.
After that one. So to see him get up and walk around was great, but Darig brought up the point that it could just be adrenaline. So we'll have to wait to see
Yeah, that's
news
definitely
and stuff on his knee or whatever that was. Nico O'Reilly at left back. I honestly thought he played pretty well inside. And some of our issues started, I guess, when he had to shift back into that left back role.
Yeah,
because the hole opened
fair.
up in the midfield. Yeah, I guess he's gonna have to play left back though, unless like Gahey does or something.
Yeah, I don't know if I want to see that.
His ball playing ability has surprised me.
Oh, it's wicked. It's wicked.
So
if he
wants to do his Guardiola impression, then
he played on the left side of a 3-back, so it's not out of the realm.
I think it would just be foolish with our injuries right now to risk another center back.
Yeah, no, it wouldn't be good.
Yeah.
No, sorry, I was just thinking about him at left back for a second. It caught me off guard. I wasn't thinking about that at all. You were gonna say?
I don't know. I don't really know how to call this.
I don't know. I don't know either. I hope that you guys win by 8. I hate those dudes. And them winning the other day made me angry. I'd much rather them keep losing and falling further and further down the table in comparison to United. That would be fucking great. Oh god, that'd be so awesome if we made Champions League and they didn't. Whatever. Makes me. I don't want to get too giddy. I don't want to get too giddy. Alrighty, I have to play the sound here because it is that time. It is that time. Yeah, extra time. Liverpool signed center back. He's not even any good. We didn't talk about him at all on this podcast. I'm starting to notice that either Chelsea is cursed or you in particular are cursed because we have made Xavi Simons, this kid, the loan recall, and probably a host of other Chelsea videos. Every single time they all do decently well. So thank you guys. But every single time they just don't end up going to Chelsea. And that's been some theme since we've started the pod. So I don't even want to talk about this talent. If you want to listen to us talk about his talent, Mila made a bunch of good points. I made it from a Chelsea perspective. Totally pointless now. So listen to Mila talk about him from a player's perspective, actual talent in the Chelsea version of this video. But Grant, I'm going to throw this to you because I don't even know what you want to talk about in regards to this other than your sporting directors are a bunch of dickheads, but go for it.
Yeah, I mean, I called this from the jump, so I mean, I can take solace in that, but I mean, where do we start, right? I mean, it goes with I mean, I'll go back to January 19th though. Chelsea already went on their mission to France on Friday. Still no agreement for the player. Chelsea want to spend less than the target. Chelsea will sign a defender this window with 3 players on their short list. I mean, we also talked about it with midfielders too. Chelsea offered the same deal as Liverpool, but the player changed his mind and decided to move to Liverpool after it had became apparent Mamadou Sarr was coming back to Chelsea and the fact Achimpong was staying. They've also put out briefs about rejecting multiple big Premier League bids for him. Play him then. Again, I'm not as fussed about missing out on the player. If I'm honest, I thought it would be another sort of Caicedo situation where Liverpool think they're going to get him, but the player agreed to Chelsea. But then the player said, wait a minute. These guys don't know what they're doing. Liverpool have 2 center backs. I can go learn under Van Dijk. Yeah, that'll work. So I don't blame the player. And I find it funny that the brief that ended up coming out from Chelsea's perspective, get ready. I mean, mind you, I probably could have wrote this last week. Chelsea knew the fee Rennes wanted and believed personal terms were not an issue. But now Mamadou Sarr is set to return, and with no desire to hamper Josh Achimpong's pathway or sell him, it appears Chelsea have backed off entirely. I do not like being treated like a moron, and I think anyone with a brain can tell you that's not what happened. It's been out for weeks that this is the guy you wanted. So don't just stop talking. I cannot stand just looking like idiots. We're like, stop talking. Chelsea, you're going to sign a center back this window. Jaquette's their target. Jaquette only wants Chelsea. And then they recall Enzo Mino. And then they send Enzo Mino to Strasbourg. And then they take Mamadou Sarr back from Strasbourg. Jaquette goes to Liverpool. Oh, Chelsea have full faith in their current options. We saw this coming from start to finish. So, mind you, I really don't know much about Jaquette as a player. Sarr's coming back in. He's worked under Rossignol. From what I've seen, he looks solid. He's 20 years old. He's not that experienced. He's not a known commodity either. So I'm glad to have a body in there that isn't one of the current ones. But similar with the Achimpong situation, am I just going to keep seeing Tosin, Badiashile, Chalobah? Is something going to change, or is it going to be the same old, hey, no, we're really confident in our options. We're going to loan them more and we're going to take them back? Again, I'm not fussed at missing out on Jaquette. I'm not even fussed on moving Enzo Mino around. Dortmund can do one. I think I said that already. But to come out and say that we need to sign a center back, it is a priority after it should have been a priority in the summer. I mean, I feel like I just keep repeating myself. But these guys are morons. Any chance I get to talk about it, I mean, I wish I didn't have to talk about it, but they continually present me the opportunity. So, I mean, again, we're just ran by fools. It's that simple.
Mila, do you got anything?
Yeah, I think in terms of talent, Sarr is a good talent and comparable to Jacquet. I think the fact that he has played under the coach is a big plus. They're both coming from the French league, so the positives of the physicality from that league are still there. So in terms of Does it make sense? Yes, it makes sense. Bringing this player back makes sense. To run through all the fucking rings to do so is just, again, foolish. Like, what are you doing? It's like performative at this point. Who are they performing for? That's a whole nother question. Like,
Shareholders.
Twitter.
Shareholders want to see more money being spent? Because I don't think they do.
They think these briefs are going to
tease
work.
them with the idea of I don't understand the point of the briefs at this point.
They think it's going to appease everybody. Like, oh no, we had this under control, guys. Like, just keep your mouth shut.
The PGMOL then.
Get business done if you find opportunities, but don't go out there and saying, hey, we found our target. Jaquette's the guy. We need to sign him this month. And then, because again, even if we did agree to this deal, let's say it was a Chelsea, here we go today. We're not bringing anyone else into our defense right now. That's where the whole problem stems from. We do not have a player there right now. For as good as Jaquette can be, we already have food at home. We have all these young center backs that are trying to develop, and we have nowhere to play them every week. Why would we throw another one into that mix? And from the player's perspective, why would he put himself into that mix? So I do not blame the player whatsoever between this situation and going to learn under Van Dijk. By all means, go shine. It makes the most sense for him as a player. Again, these guys that run this club just need to keep their mouths shut. If you find the opportunity, get it done. I remember, as horrible as it is in hindsight, like they got that Pedro Neto deal done within hours of it coming out. So that's the type of business you should be getting done. You don't need everybody to know who your targets are, your data-driven targets, and then have people all over them. Get the business done if the opportunities are there. If they're not, keep your mouth shut. Stop putting out briefs. It is infuriating.
It's pretty damning that Liverpool in their current situation, where they went from winning a title to now being outside of Champions League spots, their manager is in complete limbo. There's a good chance that he gets sacked in the summer. That a young player went, I'm still going to pick the team where I don't even know I don't know who the manager is going to be.
You can say that for us too.
No, well, Rossinior's going to be there. He's not going to get sacked. He's not going to get sacked in the summer. But that's what I'm saying. Like, he picked a project that's could be in total limbo. Like, the idea
I wouldn't put much stock into that. Caicedo and Lavia both came to us after we finished 12th, and Liverpool were in a much better spot than us. So I think circumstances are important, but from his perspective, I think that's the clear move. No, you're guaranteed playing time. Konate's gone in the summer. Konate's gone in the summer. They don't have center backs.
No, but that's the thing, we don't know. We don't know if Konate's gone in the summer. That nothing is dead set. They don't have a plan. They are just spending money. That Liverpool.
They definitely needed a center back, but they needed one now as well.
It sounds like they did their due diligence on this player, and it sounds like they had the same exact timeline as Chelsea. They just didn't do it publicly. And maybe that's part of this, is maybe this guy went, you know what? I didn't like how all this was being aired out and all the players that got aired out. Will they end up loaning me? Will there be all this other mess? Maybe. I'm just saying that I don't think Liverpool's a perfect project by any stretch of the imagination.
No. I just think contextually the position, the position that he plays, like, again, the report was from Sky. Chelsea had the exact same structure as Liverpool's deal, so Ren would have accepted that. But Jaquette changed his mind, because there were reports as early as yesterday from Cava, I believe, were saying like, oh, Chelsea's the personal terms favorites. It's their deal. But he changed his mind because you see this Ansel Mino movement. We're bringing Sarr back, and that's just more competition. Wait, am I this sort of centerpiece of your defense, or is Acheampong, Colwill, Sarr, Ansel Mino? No, I can go learn under Van Dijk, who's gone in 2 years max. Yeah, I think it's as clear as day, that decision.
Look, up until 3 hours before, or whatever it was, a day before, he was going to Chelsea.
Yep.
So something I think behind the scenes changed his mind that's bigger than that. Because that was always there. I don't think the reporting on that is too nice. The reporting on that is too nice from a Chelsea perspective, and this is the briefing of it, right? Is, there was too many guys in his way. No. He knew that.
No. That was the actual story. The Chelsea brief was, we have full confidence in our options. We're going to pull out of the deal. That was what they briefed.
I think that there's something else there. But to be fair,
I
like
think
I don't know anything about Sarr.
I think everyone can see it. I think all these agents know the deal. The deal. They know what's going on now, especially with recent events. I think it's
Yeah, the player that
disgusting.
I'm most excited to see, and we'll end up hopefully seeing him, is a Champong. I think that if you're gonna go with this route, if you're gonna play the positive spin on this for Chelsea, is you have food at home. I think a Champong is really that good. He just hasn't been given the minutes, and I don't know why he hasn't.
It cannot
Thaddeus
be worse than what
awful.
we have. It
He's
cannot be worse than
awful.
what we have. And I gave Chalobah praise for his Napoli performance, but he had his issues there. I think on that Lukaku chance. I mean, he just runs beeline towards the goal and leaves Lukaku there for the cutback. But Todibo had a really good chance at the end of the West Ham game, and Chalobah just puts his foot out and almost lays it up for Todibo to just have a hit. These defenders are not good enough. They are not the Chelsea standard. And yeah, to your point, Dylan, it is not a significant drop off, even if it is a young player who's going to make mistakes. We have older players making mistakes in these same positions. So
yeah, and you're
the thing that
recalling it.
confuses me is that both managers refuse to play at Champong.
And they talk about how much they love him. They both have said publicly,
That's got to be forced. That's got to be forced. That's coming up. That's
But
got to be coming from the
what's
higher.
crazy is how much would Chelsea have spent on Achampong if he came from another league?
70.
They would have probably spent what Paquette's going for.
More.
He's a huge talent in the position. So we have food at home, right? Sarr looked fantastic in the AFCON and Koulibaly's absence. Some big shoes to step into. He's looked good at Strasbourg. I need the kid to get a chance because I know exactly what we have in terms of the rest of our senior defenders.
It's all clicks.
You keep like normal teams will loan out the players that they think are not yet ready to play. And so they become ready to play. And it seems that you loaned out all the players that you thought were ready to play and kept the ones that were not ready to play and are now recalling the ones that are ready to play. What is going on? I just don't understand.
You're idiots,
like,
bro. We know
this.
Yeah, everything is
just like
everything
these
is
people are not like it's not like they just picked up people off the street though. Like these people are paid a ridiculous amount of money to do their jobs. So
I know.
I'm not talking to you at this point. I'm talking to the camera, and like it's appalling. It's certainly appalling. And how do you fix it? I don't really know at this point.
All right, well, we're gonna end it there. No, actually, we can't end it there because we got to do predickies. Shoot. Let's start with City Liverpool because I don't know the other matchups off the top of my head.
2-2.
Who's the man of the match, Grant?
My man of the match will be Ekitike.
Gross.
I'll go 1-0 City. Donnarumma, man of the match.
I'm gonna go 4-1 City. My man of the match is Holland. He's scoring a hat trick. Because fuck Liverpool. The next game we'll do is United versus Spurs. Because everybody wants to wake up at 4:30, right? Yay. 4:30 game, United Spurs. Oh.
Yeah, that's Spurs. I think Spurs are awful. 4-1 United, Bruno Fernandes. Going bold with my man of the match pick so far.
I think we win 2-0. They are not a good team from open play, and United have actually been good at under Carrick of open play stuff. So as long as they can just kind of keep them away from corners, I feel decent. I feel decent, especially at home. So 2-0, and then I should just say I'm going to say Sesko. I didn't give him a shout out in the United section, but he's got four goals in 3 games.
3-0 United.
Say it. You know who you want to say.
Miro.
Incoming Luke Shaw.
No.
Incoming Luke Shaw.
And Buemo probably.
Yeah, that seems fair against Frank. And then the final one is Chelsea versus Wolves.
Wolves 10-0. Is that at Chelsea?
No, it's Molyneux. 3-0.
Yeah,
3-0. Caicedo will win man of the match.
Arsenal midweek. You guys rotate super heavily, maybe.
Wolves.
Yeah, but they've only lost twice this year, so no, I'm gonna go. I think they get a goal, but I think it's a dominant 3-1. And it's gonna be Palmer because he rests midweek and then he plays Wolves and he has his get back game.
Mm, 2-1 Enzo Fernandez.
Seems safe. All right, if those are the predictions, which means that they are definitely not going to happen. So do not go and bet on that. Do not go and bet on
That's
that.
not true.
We do not have a good hit rate. Not a good enough hit rate. Cool. Well, like I said in the beginning, go and like, comment, share, subscribe. We are doing this all the time, posting daily content. We're happy to do collabs and talk to you and build a community and have a grand old time. So do all that fun stuff. But we've been Clash of Clubs. That's Mila. That's Grant. I'm Dylan. This has been episode 83. And we'll see you guys in the next one.
2 words for him. Different gravy. Glorious goal! Wreathed in red. We're really seeing the most extraordinary finish here. On this day of days, has he delivered? Just magnificent! Potentially life-changing! That's football. Minute you let it under your skin, then you begin to make it better.